What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Peter Cattani, and this week we finally get Draft Box 4. Every single color got something amazing. Even if it's just the black card, the Fu, I think it's incredible. Yellow has that monkey. Red has a ton of stuff, the Vegeta and the event card. Blue got the Frieza, that's a barrier blocker, and multicolor, almost every multicolor card is just really good. So, you know what that means. We got to make decks. And there's a ton of decks to make right now. But Andrew Duvall threw me this idea. We worked on the list a little bit together. And let me show you what we got. Bam! This is what we got. We got an oldie, but a goodie. Son Goku that flips over to Son Goku, the legendary Super Saiyan, when he turns Super Saiyan for the first time. The leader's really good at setting up your graveyard to get maximum value because our bomb is going to be KO Cannon. What the front side does is swing auto burst 2. When you burst 2, you can pitch a card from your hand. It has to be a green card. You have to pitch one green card from your hand and you draw 2 cards. So you burst 2, you pitch a card, and then you draw 2. So you got like a +1. That's all you got. But you got 3 cards in the graveyard. Do this a couple of times, your graveyard gets pretty big. I wouldn't suggest it against Janippa. Just say it. When you awaken, you untap 2 energy. Awesome. His backside. Auto, sparking 5. When he swings, you draw a card, and if there is a Krillin in your drop area, he gains 5k and double strike for that battle. Really good. Double strike, just putting that pressure. It's 22 instead of being a normal leader of 15. 20 double strike, your opponent most of the time is going to combo out of this, which adds pressure. We do have a good card in the deck that's going to make it even stronger, but we'll get to that in 1 second. All right, so let's talk about the deck real quick. Some of the cards I'm going to skim through real quick because we already know what they do, like 4 Raditz. It's a really good card against anything that untaps energy on their turn, and it's pretty much the Borgos. When you play, you draw a card. When your opponent untaps an energy on their turn, you get to pick one of their energy and send it to the grave. Pretty cool. This Broly, you only play for energy. That's all you play it for. You never want to bring it out. We don't care about hitting our opponent's hand. This is just a great energy charge. Once you have a multicolor card, when you charge it, instead of all the other multi-cards that go into tap, this one comes inactive. Pretty good. Digging deep. Is it important? No. But some of the games, you kind of want to put pressure. Like if you're going against Shenron, you want to put pressure. So Digging Deep is one of those amazing cards to put pressure. It helps you self-awaken, but you don't really need that. You're going to self-awaken turn 5 when you bring out your bomb anyways. So is it important? No, but it's useful. In scenarios where you're like, oh, I know I need this for this matchup, cool. You might want to up this to 3, but again, how this deck is, this is the ideal that we have going on. We'll talk about some cards that you can possibly take out and put in. Now this card, boom, it is me and Marcel in a card, so you knew I had to play it. It has Arrival. That mechanic is just incredible in this game. Arrival, if you combo with a green and red card, you can pay 1 red. 1 red instead of 2, like a red and a green. I hate those cards. They're good, but 1 red, so much better. Auto, when it comes into play, you can KO something that's 20k or less on your opponent's side. Cool. Also, when it comes into play, you choose one of your battle cards that costs 6 or less and give it double strike. That's almost like giving Champa's ability automatically. You have Beer's ability to destroy something 20k or less, and then you have Champa that's automatically going to give something double strike of your battle card. Luckily, our leader automatically has double strike because most of the time you're always going to have sparking 5. You don't overwhelm, so your leader's already swinging for double strike. You don't got to worry about giving that. So it only targeting battle cards is not a problem. Really good card. It's only costs 1 red, so comes into play, kills something, giving something Champa's ability. That's like if you were playing Champa already. So great. I want to play 4, but the fact that it only KOs 20k or less, which is really good, but sometimes in some scenario, let's say a 4-drop is a 25k and you can't kill it with this, well then we have Gogeta for the next possible option where it's just like, oh, I can't kill it with this, but Gogeta can kill it. Now the difference between Gogeta is he only kills 4 or less. So this is restricted by 20 or less attack, and this is restricted by 4 cost or less of cost over here. This is really good if you're going against Toa, because the 5-drop 20k that goes into the big 30k, if Toa players are not the smartest players and swing with 20 and thinking, oh, he has nothing for this, that's wrong. I do now. I can kill it with 20k or less. But again, little scenarios where I want to destroy something 4 or less, I have options, and that's very important to have in decks. Next is the boss monster itself, KO Cannon. It's a 7-drop, but if you have 20 red and green cards in your drop area, that's the whole reason we're playing this leader, he becomes a 5-drop. Auto, when your life goes to 1, he gains triple attack, triple strike, and dual attack. Perfect. Remember everything. And then active main, you can choose a card from your life, add it to your hand, give him 25 power, 25k power, and then look at your opponent's hand and pick whatever card you want and discard it. Super strong. Definitely this is what we do turn 5. This is the main play we're always going to do on turn 5. And with a leader that pretty much sets up the graveyard real fast, getting 20 or less is going to be pretty easy. Next, since we are playing a green Goku, we're definitely going to play 4 Krillin. It's a 1-drop. When it comes into play, draw a card. But if you are flipped over, if you're awakened, he becomes a 4-drop in all areas, graveyard, hand, field, and gains blocker. That's good later on once we get to this card, but it's very strong. Once you're awakened though, remember, it's not a 1-drop. In the hand, it's going to be a 4-drop, so you got to be careful with that. Next is this kind of expensive card. It's like 15-20 bucks, but it's really good in certain matchups. It's a 2-drop if you have a multicolor in your area. When you play it, at the end of the turn, you draw 2 cards and discard 1. Then you destroy all 3 or lower on your opponent's side of the field, send them to drop. Not bad. It's not even targeting. It's not like up to 3. No, all 3 and lower. So you pretty much do a great board wipe against Kid Goku. So it's nice to have little options. If you cannot afford this, this is something else that I can replace it with. I'll get to it in a sec, but it could be Videl. So don't be worried. Next is the best color, or the best card to have for multicolor. If you're playing multicolors, you want to play these counter plays, and this is one of the best ones. It's Vegeta the Cruel. Counterplay, play this card. Cool. If you have a multicolor in your energy, he costs 2 instead of 3, so it's a 2-drop. Auto, when it comes into play, you can KO a 4 or less. Really good in certain matchups like U6. And then after, your opponent picks a card in their hand and warp it. It's incredible for pressure. It's incredible for control. It's just an incredible card all around, so we're definitely going to play 4 of this. Next is a new card from the draft box. It's going to be Krillin. He is a blocker with Sparking 10. If you have 10 or more in the drop area, instead of being a 4-drop, he's a 2-drop in hand. On the field, he's back to a 4-drop. Auto, when you play this card, draw 2 and discard 1. So it kind of filters for whatever you're trying to look for. It helps load up the graveyard to get to that 20 for Kaioken. Helps us search for our Kaioken. And most importantly, it's a Krillin that has blocker. That's a 4-drop, because when it dies, boom, we're playing this monster. I'm a huge fan of this card. Never can I make it work, but with this Krillin, maybe, because now we have a 1-drop and a 2-drop that we can pretty much play, and they transform into 4-drops basically. So this ability happens. He is a double strike 5-drop, but we're never going to pay to play his cost. His auto is a Krillin that costs 4 dies. You can bring him out, and when he comes into play, you can KO a battle card, ignoring barrier. Super strong, super strong. Now these are blockers. Back then we used the 4-drop Krillin that was like a deadly defender that when it's rested, your opponent has to deal with it, kill it to bring it out, which is really good against Victory Strike and stuff, but we're still going to make use out of this. We're trying it out. This is something that I'm a big fan of. 3 might be overdoing it. 2 might seem like the perfect number. This is where me and Andrew were kind of arguing with each other. He's like, nah, 2 is better. I'm like, you know what? I want to see it. So I'm putting 3, but up to you guys. I just want to make sure this play happens, and this helps us dig for this play. So once I block something, I get to KO on my opponent's turn. That's huge. Next is just 4 super combos. This is probably one of the best ones. Like, you can run Paragus, but mind you, we don't have like Self-Awakener until turn 5, which is KO Cannon. We do have Digging Deep, but even then, that might not guarantee Self-Awaken. And some of these decks, like Shenron, doesn't hit your life ever. So to make sure our super combos are live at all time, we're playing the Sparking one. Our next card we gotta talk about is the secret rare we're playing. It is the Super Saiyan 3 Raditz Broly Vegeta thing. It's an ultimate, so you can only play one, of course. It has a rival for 3 red, 2 green. So you got a combo of green and red, and then a rival. But its auto is just super strong. When it comes into play, you pick one of your life, send it to drop, and then your opponent takes 2 damage automatically. Pretty good. Also, mind you, this comes out through a rival. So it has another auto that if your opponent combos with 2 or less, you get to choose a card from the combo area and send it a drop. But that's not once per turn. That's every time they combo with something 2 or less. So most super combos are cost 2. They'll get their auto to draw a card. That's cool. But they don't get that 10k bonus basically in their combo area because it's sent to the drop area. Almost this card, with even if your opponent's at 4 life, you can swing with your double strike leader. Swing, mind you, it's turn 5. Turn 5, we're going to win by KO Cannon or this. You swing with your leader even if they're at 4 life. If they do not negate, we're going to combo everything. Because there's not a lot of interactions that you can do on a leader swing outside of like other battle cards. Battle cards, they can swing, combo everything, and then haha, destroy it with Shugesh Kick Goku. That was back in the day. Now there's other stuff like Gogeta. It does happen, guys. With a leader swing, you feel safe because you know nothing can happen. Not even God Strike Beerus can turn off for the double strike. You're safe. So, it swings with double strike. Awesome. You're going to combo everything, they're going to take 2. But when you combo everything, you're going to combo a green and red card and try to rival this out. Boom, not a lot of answers are going to be for this card. There's only like one counterplay that actually touches this. And it's like hidden power. It's like it counterplays unless I discard 2 cards. So once I hit red and green, I'm going to combo this, making sure I have 2 cards in my hand in case they play somehow that counterplay. And I'll be like, oh, I'm going to pitch these. This card is definitely coming out. And when it comes out, your opponent can't combo with anything super high because they can only combo with 3 or more. So you have your pseudo combos, cool, but the super combos are gone. And you kind of want to get this high enough because this is going to do 2 damage, leaving your opponent at 2. And swing with a double strike, I can win a game just by this card itself. Big fan. Next is from the new draft box, Gallic Cannon. Let me tell you how good this card is. This card is just good. That's how good it is. It's a 1-drop, costs 1 red. Counterplay, when a battle card is played, you can choose one of the battle cards in your opponent's side and minus 15k. Now, the ruling on this is pretty interesting. Let's say you're going against a Pan player, and they bring out Trunks Surge of Power, the thing that pretty much draws 2 cards, right? This is a counterplay. So I'm going to counterplay into it coming out. Once it comes out, this effect happens before my opponent's auto happens. Normally, an auto and an auto happening at the same time, your opponent happens first, and then your auto happens. But this is a counterplay resolving. So, with a counterplay resolving, it happens before your opponent even triggers an auto. So it gets rid of that Trunks before it even got the 5k, so your opponent doesn't even draw. This is all in the thought that you're going against Pan. Your opponent doesn't draw, they lost a battle card for no reason, and then boom. But outside of that, it's still a really good card. Another little cool trick that you can do with it is if you can play 2, because there's 2 counter windows in DBS now. When I play a card, counter window 1, and when a card hits the board, counter window 2. And if I'm not mistaken, if you had these 2 cards in hand, and you had 2 red open, well, let's say they play something with not deflect that hurts. I can't imagine what it is. But because every card I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, that has deflect, that has deflect. I'm like thinking, Kato, that has deflect. Gogeta has deflect. Too many cards. But let's say, hypothetically, they're about to drop a 30k that doesn't have deflect nor barrier. You can counter window 1, play 1. Counter window 2, play the second one, and then minus 30 that creature, getting rid of a huge bomb that doesn't have deflect or barrier. Next is Feet Kamehameha. This card is just so good for 1 green. If your leader is a Green Sun Goku, give it 15 power, 15k power, and critical. So your leader's normally swinging for 20 double strike. For 1 green, it's going to swing for 35 double strike critical. That's huge just for 1 green. But hypothetically, let's say you're not going for the attack. I don't know why, but you're not going for attack. You're getting attacked, and you gotta defend yourself. This is a one power 15k boost. That's better than any combo thing that you can throw out there. For 1, I gain 15. Very strong, good for offensive, good for defense. So it has both needs. Next is your negates. I run 5. for the greater good. Why? Because we are a burst leader, so in the drop area, it's super easy to put it in there. Also, you draw 2, discard 1, you can just discard your negate, and you theoretically still have a negate in hand. And then the best negate in the game, I would say, well, not in the game, that's a lie. Best negate for green. Corrected myself. Shocking Death Ball. I'm a huge fan of this. One, Super 17. Let me be honest, this leader, I wanted to make Super 17, but this whole Krillin engine was a little bit better. But stay tuned, Super 17 coming up next. It's Super 17, so we like the picture, but you know what it does. Sparking, if you have 5, you can activate by taking 1. It negates an attack and KO a 2 or less. Now these little 2 cards on the side is Videl. It's a negate. And in case you can afford this, we do have a lot of green, but a little bit of red. You can use the multicolor, they count as red. But for solo red, we only have 6 cards. Now, if you want to add a little bit more red and you don't have this card and it's kind of hard to get, don't worry about the destructive part. You kind of have enough destruction with these cards right here. But if you're going against Kid Goku, you're going to wish you had this. This card right here is pretty good because it negates an attack and it stays on the board. So you can combo it away, it being red and then any green combo. So like your super combo, red, green, you can activate your rival a lot easier. So these 2 are just for like little replacements you want to do. You can take these out, put that in. You can take out a Krillin, probably add another Digging Deep Vegeta because it is great pressure. Or if you're a huge fan of this Gatling Cannon, you can add more of these, but this doesn't help with the combo to activate your Arrive. Alright guys, that was the deck profile. Hopefully you guys test it out and let me know what you guys think in the comments. This whole week PPG is going to be throwing out videos with new Draft Box 4 cards in decks, so stay tuned for that. And anything that's way too good is going to be in Patreon, so if you haven't joined us yet, give it a shot, take a look. But thank you for joining me. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe. Also, leave a like. It helps me out, boost my confidence. But till next time, guys.